It is 7 p.m. Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Time to call the meeting to order. Amber, could you call roll, please?
Councilmember Montgomery.
Here.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Here.
Councilmember Kate.
Here.
Councilmember Cook.
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt. Here. Councilmember Sias.
Here.
Mayor Carlson.
Here. Thank you. If we could all rise for the invocation by Councilmember Bill Kate, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please pray with me. Lord God, we thank you for the gift of each day. Thank you especially for this day, and we ask your blessings on our evening here. Over and above all that, Lord God, we pray for the safety and well-being of all of our armed forces members who find themselves in harm's way in the defense of freedom. We pray for your blessings, safety, and protection for each of them. Patience and peace for their families, for their return. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming tonight. I appreciate the full roster with all the city council members here again. We're doing great. I really appreciate it. Now's the time for agenda item number 5, public comments. This time on the agenda is for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to the city council. Time for public comments will be given when an agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please position yourself in line near the wall where the podium is located to ensure visibility and to be recognized. And after being recognized by the mayor, please give your name and your address of residency for the record and proceed with your comment or question. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Public comment, please.
Nicole Larabelle, 16814 Virginia Avenue, Ferrysburg. There's an upcoming March 5 public hearing at the Planning Commission to consider recommending to City Council amending the zoning ordinance and official zoning map of Ferrysburg. More changes are being proposed in this single public hearing than a single person could possibly address in a single 3-minute public comment. One public hearing for this many proposed changes provides the public one opportunity for public comment during the hearing, where their comments could influence what changes the zoning or the Planning Commission recommends the City Council to be adopted. Highlights in the proposed draft ordinance include proposing renaming all residential zoning districts except for Dune. R1 is proposed to R2, R2 to R3, R3 to R5, with new zoning district standards proposed in each district. The Inland Lake Overlay District is proposed to be rezoned at R4. Lot size is being proposed to be cut in half, 50-foot wide, 5,000 minimum square foot lots, with lot coverage up from the current 35% to the proposed 60%. Lowered lot line setbacks as well, raising serious flooding concerns to the potential for loss for green space where water currently drains in the overlay district. It's very difficult to research what these proposed changes mean for our zoning districts with the current information provided by the city and where it's located in different sections on the city website. Researching the proposed changes involves reading a 240-page current zoning ordinance on the zoning page, comparing it to the proposed draft ordinance, which is located only in the 76-page agenda for the March 5 meeting. You would have to know to look in the agenda for the proposed draft and you would have to know what your current zoning district name is and what the proposed new name is to be able to compare the information. R1 proposed to R2, R2 to R3, and R3 to R5 parcels were never notified their zoning districts were being proposed to be renamed, other than the notice in the classifieds February 18th in the Grand Haven Tribune that ran for 1 day. The city hasn't provided a document yet for the public for each zoning district that defines what their current district standards are now, defines what the proposed changes are, tells them what district they're in now, what their zoning district name is proposed to be changed to, and current and proposed PUD density per acre. Current percentages on max lot coverage compared to what's proposed. That's all I'm advocating for, an easy-to-read public document that's available to the public before the March 5 public hearing, so the public has an opportunity to make an informed and meaningful public comment that can help shape the recommendations to council to consider amending the zoning ordinance and map. Instead of having to use their 3-minute public comment time to ask questions about what the proposed changes are when that information could be provided to them in advance. The city has not provided this information on current standards and proposed changes in a way that a person could reasonably understand it. The city has not provided the relevant information to the public hearing in a way where a resident could reasonably find the information on the city website. The city planner at the last meeting said he was going to prepare a memo to help explain these changes, because in his words, 60 pages worth of highlights could be intimidating for people to be seeing for the first time. I don't think we should be seeing this new memo at the Planning Commission public hearing for the first time. We need time to review it before the hearing to make informed public comments. There's also significant differences between the 130 draft ordinance presented at the last PC meeting and the new proposed draft ordinance for the March 5 meeting, including new PUD density per acre numbers that were written by the city planner. Those final numbers were not discussed by the PC in the last 11 work sessions. The new proposed draft ordinance was uploaded to the city website less than 15 days prior to the public hearing. Along with the public hearing notices, all were posted to the city website for the first time on February 23. Public hearing notices were mailed on February 23, received by residents February 25, 9 days before the public hearing, 7 days after the notice first ran in the Tribune for 1 day. Please consider directing the city to provide critical information on current zoning district standards and proposed new district standards to residents in an easy-to-understand one-page format for each zoning district before the public hearing on March 5. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize, everyone.
All right. I'm here. And nobody here could see that 3-minute
I'll
clock.
set it up
Just
again.
okay.
I just let you say your name.
I'm
first.
going to be very quick.
Okay.
David Brockmeyer. I live at 16935 West Spring Lake Road right now. Until we move back into our new house in Cottage Shores eventually. I want to actually follow up on what Nicole just brought up. I think it's really important for us to give the public a very adequate understanding of what is being proposed. It's a lot of things going through. I've been out of the country for 2 weeks, and I tried to look it over while I was traveling, and I just couldn't really grasp a lot of it easily. So I would offer maybe suggesting even if we were able to put something together this fast that's comprehensive and understandable, is it going to be able to be disseminated by residents quick enough before this meeting? So perhaps considering changing the date of that meeting might be a prudent option. That's all.
Thank you. Do we have any other further comment, public comment? Seeing none, let's move forward. Agenda item number 6, consideration of approval of the consent agenda. 6A, approve the February 16th, 2026 City Council minutes as printed. 6B, approve the bills memo in the amount of $47,579.41. And 6C, adopt a proclamation declaring April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the city of Ferrisburg. Entertain a motion, please.
Your Honor, I move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. Amber?
Councilmember Sias.
Yay.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to new business 7A, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a planned unit development agreement between Cottage Shores of Spring Lake LLC and the city of Ferrisburg for the Cottage Shores of Spring Lake Planned Unit Development, and to authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign all necessary documents. I'd entertain a motion. on this.
Make motion to.
Okay.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Craig, you want to fill us in on this, please?
Yes. So in your packet was a copy of the draft plan agreement. In that agreement, it lays out exactly what's expected from the developer. Items such as were approved by the planning commission with their site plan approval. Developer or the city planner and the city attorney have reviewed this document and have no concerns with it, recommend approval. This is something very similar to what city council approved for the Stillwater development. With this agreement, it requires the developer to provide a bond to the city, which has been done. So everything's in a row to move forward. Once this agreement is signed by city council and approved, the developer will be able to obtain building permits for his buildings.
Very good.
Craig, could you move your microphone a little closer?
Yes, I
I
can.
have a hard time hearing. Thank you.
Any questions or concerns from city council on this?
I have 3. My first comment is under the recital section. The second paragraph references 2 parcels that no longer exist, as well as 2 addresses that no longer exist according to the Ottawa County parcel records. So I'm wondering if we could just amend that section to reference the new parcel that was created and possibly the new 911 address. The second comment is there are provisions in section A1A through C that reference the current standards of the zoning ordinance that, as we heard during public comment tonight, is most likely going to be recommended for an amendment. Do we really want to reference specific sections of the zoning ordinance as it exists today, as well as the various standards set forth therein? I think it might be cleaner just to reference the zoning ordinance and not explicitly state what the current standards are, because they're subject to change. The last comment is, I wondered if we could amend the agreement to include some sort of performance standard for the LLC, just requiring that the LLC remain in an active and good standing with the state agency responsible for managing LLCs. That's all.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Craig, this was approved under the current zoning ordinance, correct?
Correct.
That would dictate the rules going forward?
The approved site plan, yes. Yep.
So even if the zoning ordinance changes, it would not affect this project
That's my understanding, correct.
because the planning commission, as a PUD, has approved it as presented, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Amber, can you speak on the 2 parcels? Are those combined yet? They're combined into one parcel? It's going to be split again. They're not
We're still waiting for the master deed for these parcels for them to be able to be combined into one. So they're still sitting as they currently show here in our records, and they'll maintain that status until the next roll for 2027.
Thank you. I noticed on the county website, the map viewer had it merged as one parcel.
They may have just recently merged it, but it hasn't been dropped down to us yet. We were still waiting on that deed and for approval from the county.
Your Honor, is that something Mr. Brockmeyer should address? Have the parcels been combined as of today? Yeah. Is that an impediment to approving this?
No, because the master deed is gonna trump everything that comes out forward, showing each unit's gonna have its own parcel number in the future.
Okay, thank you. Could you come up to the microphone, please, Dave?
Just a point of clarification that that we're not gonna have separate lots. It's a condo and it's one lot. It should be one parcel. But there's different addresses.
Each unit, each building will have its own parcel number for tax purposes.
Okay, parcel numbers for tax purposes. Okay.
Correct.
Mr. Cook, you had 3 concerns. Are they all answered?
No, the last concern related to a performance agreement to keep the LLC that the city's contracting with in active and good standing would be the only one unaddressed at this point.
Okay. Staff, do you have a response for that?
No, that'd be more of a legal question. I have to check with the city attorney.
Okay.
If something that city council wants to approve contingent on the city attorney's opinion, we can do that.
I would amend my motion to approve pending city attorney's opinion.
Yeah, I would support that. This isn't gonna hold this up at all, is it?
No, it should not.
Very good. Anyone else have any questions or concerns? Seeing none, Amber, could you?
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to 7B, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a bid from Tandem Electric for $69,998.56 for the installation of commercial-grade pathway lighting along the paved path in Coast Guard Park. I'd entertain a motion and support on this.
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Craig, you want to fill us in on this one, please?
Yeah, this is something that was included in the 25-26 city budget to put lighting along the path inside Coast Guard Park. This is the paved path that's behind the pavilion. It's kind of in the wooded area of the park. These lights are not parking lot lights. They're lights, basically marker lights to show you where how the path winds around into that park. It's not going to provide a lot of lighting on the path. It's just more or less lighting to direct you and kind of give you some light when you're walking through the path as you items on the trail or anything. So we're proposing that to be 50-foot distance between each bollard. The maximum light between a bollard is probably 20 feet at the best. So in that middle is going to be dim at best. So if to increase it, the number of bollards, you're going to have to increase the number of fixtures required and the supplies.
And how are we paying for it?
So this is something that we budgeted $40,000 for this project. It came over what we estimated it would have cost to do this project. We did budget some funds to paint the Coast Guard buoy at the entrance of Coast Guard Park. The buoy is still in pretty good shape. It doesn't need to be painted this year or probably even next year, but we can use that money that we budgeted for the Coast Guard painting of the buoy towards this project here. we budgeted $35,000 for that painting.
Anyone have any questions or concerns?
We got
Go
several,
ahead, Bob.
we got several, resident requests for this over the last couple of years, so it's just something we added to our goals. Might have had on last year,
Mhm.
so it's exciting to see.
Yes, definitely.
My idea when I suggested this way back, 2 years ago, was not to light it up as bright as day, but to give people a little sense of safety as they walk back there. If you go back there at night, you see absolutely nothing now, especially in the height of summer when all the leaves are out and you can't see the sky at all. And I think the lighting that this will provide will be more than enough to give people a sense of safety as they walk back there.
Anyone else have anything?
Your Honor?
Yes.
Craig, explain to me why the new roofing for the pavilion is at Coast Guard Park is urgent thing, or is that something we put off a year, or it was budgeted for the painting of the buoy and a new roof? Explain that to me.
So the roof is in pretty good shape. There's been some discussion with the vandalism out there. Shingles get ripped off if we want to sit there and reshingle the roof or put a metal roof on it. So it's kind of in there as a placeholder right now until that decision has been made.
So we're still planning on replacing the roof?
Eventually, I'm not sure it's going to be done this fiscal year though.
Is that something that's gonna create damage to the pavilion?
No, we had
Repair
the roof painted on the inside last year, and we did some touch-up work at that time, so it's good to hold.
The shingles are off the,
No, shingles been replaced, they've been damaged.
the shingles, the roof itself has been repaired temporarily.
Correct, yep.
All right, that's all I need.
Okay. Anyone else? Seeing none. Amber?
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7C, discussion and take action if appropriate to adopt ordinance number 343, an ordinance to amend the city code by amending chapter 154 zoning to amend provisions related to accessory dwelling units in the general commercial GC and light industrial LI1 zoning districts. Motion and
I make a motion to remand this back to the planning commission to include additional language to address the fire chief's concerns that were sent via email.
I support that.
very good. Motion and support. Craig, you want to fill us in on this, please?
Yes, at the last meeting, City Council introduced this ordinance on the first reading. At that time, City Council asked to have some comments regarding this ordinance from the building inspector and fire chief. Those comments were included in your packet. In the ordinance, it does say that mixed living uses needs to be approved or meet building code and fire code. So there is a caveat in that ordinance to address those items.
Would the fire code include fire suppression as mentioned in the email?
I'm not sure what the fire code is, but they would have to meet the fire code.
Connor, I think we should kick this back to the planning commission and have them rewrite it to require fire suppression, because my understanding is a lot of these buildings are used for manufacturing. They're working on boats in there, gasoline, North Shore Marina had the same situation, burned down. The marina up in Muskegon. Somebody was working on a boat, caught it on fire, burned, I don't know how many millions of dollars worth of yachts up. I have a serious concern when you have living space above a manufacturing space or a service space where they can work on cars, they can work on, and there's one exit out of that building. And if it's burning below you, you're cooked. The fire chief had a real concern about that it's not a question of if somebody's gonna die, it's just when. Because if it catches on fire, there's no alternative but to cook, from what he's telling me.
Understood. Anyone else?
I think if we're going to require something that's above and beyond the fire code, we should just figure out a way to update the fire code, because this is I mean, it seems great, but this is a extremely expensive thing for developers to include, and it's not a requirement right now. I mean, if we feel like it should be a requirement, we need to make it a requirement, but
Is a fire code a national code? Is that, do we have control over a fire code?
We adopted the 2015 fire code, Michigan Fire Code,
So
statewide,
it's a national,
statewide for sure.
statewide.
statewide.
But
Oh, it's
it
state,
makes
yeah.
me wonder why, I mean, these aren't new, right? Why isn't the state fire code updated for this?
So when they were built for storage units. And then they didn't have to have fire suppression because of the size, and if they had a fireproof wall to meet the size requirements, so that's why the fire suppression wasn't required at that time.
Okay, so these all meet fire code, and new ones would meet the fire code. So why are we all of a sudden now going above and beyond what fire code requires?
The amendment, the big change in this amendment is to allow living space on the first floor and on the top floor. Before it was only on one floor. So we're increasing the living area available.
Okay.
William, they met the fire code for storage building with, it wasn't living space, it what they call it, party space or whatever, where they could hang out basically. Okay, now we're converting it from a storage building to a double story living space, which we can write the code however we want. They have, obviously the fire chief and the building inspector both have concerns over it. I think we should kick it back and try to rewrite this, you know, what price do you put on somebody's life? I mean, that's basically what you're saying. You got a living space above a working area. You know, and quite honestly, I don't care what it costs to,
I mean, people do it every day at their house, right?
but you have exits. You have,
I mean, these all have, I would assume that any living quarters has to have an emergency egress of
that's
some
not-
sort,
That's
right?
not what he's proposing. You got one exit. So your fire's underneath you, you're on a living space up above, you're running down the stairs into a fire. That's why the fire chief has,
Or a window, right?
there are no windows.
Well, you'd have to have a window for a bedroom, so there would be a window. So this is where this is getting extremely misinterpreted, right?
Well,
If
you
I have
got-
a fire in my house, there's only one exit coming down the stairs too, but we also have windows that are egress windows.
And they have egress windows.
Correct, and these would require egress windows, would they not?
If there's sleeping arrangement, yes.
Okay, so I guess I'm failing to understand the difference between this and me working in my garage.
Working on your garage is not working underneath your living, you're sleeping
I
upstairs.
can name 20 houses, have garages.
Yeah, this is a real concern for the fire chief, and I have a real concern with this.
If I may, there's an additional recommendation that's not related to the fire code, and that is if these units are going to be occupied, that there's some sort of registration process to notify the city that someone's living there, which is not currently in the ordinance. So regardless of a fire code or not, it seems like maybe that would be something at the very least the planning commission should look at.
Yeah, again, logistically, you know, when we had these proposed to us the first time, it was never proposed as like, this is my permanent residence. It was proposed that, hey, it'd be nice to have a bedroom for
when my kids come to town or someone else comes to visit, they don't have to stay at our house. They don't have to get a hotel room. They can stay 1 or 2 nights there. So, well, I understand, right? I just don't know the expectation for our citizens. They're supposed to call Craig every time they have visitors in town.
Well, maybe the question is, how do we know which ones have an ADU and which ones don't?
Well, they'd have to apply for permits. Would they not, Craig?
The building permit would have to show that they're going to be living arrangements, sleeping arrangements.
Correct. So we would know which ones, from that perspective, have living arrangements in them.
Right. I think the big concern is not living arrangements, but sleeping arrangements. If they can spend the night there, that's when the fire chief and building inspector are getting concerned.
And
Well,
Your Honor,
go ahead.
what do we have to do to make the fire chief satisfied? Does he give us
Put in fire suppression.
exactly what needs to happen? Do we need to have sprinkler systems? Is that what he's saying?
I think as long as it meets the fire code, that's about the best we can require.
And it does not now?
For a storage building, yes. For having space in there to watch TV, sit on a sofa, yes. If someone's sleeping in there, it might be a different issue.
So fire code requires if there's living space where people are spending the night, they require fire suppression?
That's the fire code. There's different requirements for fire code when people are spending the night in a building.
And fire code requires sprinklers.
No, I don't know the answer to that, but
I was under the impression when we talked about this a year ago or 2 years ago that fire suppression was not required.
That's what I remember.
However, we had people on our fire department that wanted it.
Yes, that's what I
That
remember.
was before the ADUs.
Hey, I don't have fire
That was
suppression
before
at
the
my
dwelling
house.
units.
Well, but we talked about dwelling units too. I just don't want
You're
to.
comparing apples to oranges. I'm all for increasing safety standards, and the difference will between your house and this is a commercial property, and it's shared by several other individuals. And if you burn yourself down, that's fine, but you're involving other people's lives here.
So are we not putting fire
And
walls in place?
That's a big difference in just working in your garage.
Sure.
This is a commercial property, and there's a lot of lives at stake, not just you and your family. So I'm all for increasing safety standards. The state sets a basic standard, and we have the ability to amplify that if we choose, and I think it is worth the extra money to save a life.
Yeah, I guess I'm not coming from a safety perspective. I'm coming from, we have citizens and developers that are going to be chasing a moving target if we're continuously changing all this stuff, even when we have, try to follow national standards or state standards. So
That's
we
that's
have-
the cost of business. I mean, when you're a developer, you come to recognize that just goes with the territory. I mean,
We have a motion and support on the floor. Does anyone else have anything new to bring to the table?
I'd like to clarify the motion.
Go ahead.
I mean, I want to clarify
Oh,
it.
yes.
He made a change, and I'd like to know where we're at with that.
The motion was to send it back to planning commission. Is that correct?
Dave made the motion to send it back to planning. I second it.
We could at least have them analyze it and provide some feedback instead of trying to understand the fire code up here and what the ramifications are. Perhaps the recommendation will come back as no change needed, but I just don't feel comfortable based on the email
Okay.
and the discussion tonight to approve it.
Craig, do you know what we need to do to send this back to planning then?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Your Honor, Your Honor, if I could, Dave, I would rather us make that decision than planning. I mean, if we send it back to them, they're just gonna pass it.
And then they send it back to us.
Mhm.
They're going to pass what?
The minimal recommendation without the fire suppression.
And it will be sent back to us to vote yea or nay,
Right.
so.
So I guess my point is, let's give the planning commission a recommendation on this is what we would like to see. We would like to see fire suppression in these buildings.
Anyone
Welcome,
else have anything new to add? No? Amber, could you call roll, please? And this is to send this back to planning commission.
Councilmember Montgomery,
no.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Kate,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch,
No.
Mayor Carlson,
No.
motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7D, discussion to take action if appropriate to adopt ordinance number 344, an ordinance to amend provisions related to wireless communication facilities, amateur radio service, satellite dishes, and other antennas. I'd take a motion on this, please, if I could.
I make a motion to remove this from the agenda and the table.
Support.
Very good. Motion and support on the floor. Craig, could you fill us in on this, please?
So this was introduced as a first reading at the last meeting. At that time, City Council asked for some information regarding the work that Ottawa County is doing on locating cell towers within Ottawa County. That correspondence has been included in your packet. Ottawa County is working with a company called Verta to locate and install towers within the county.
And we do not have enough information from the county yet to make an informed decision. Is that right? The county has not responded yet?
Yeah, they responded and you indicated that they were working with Verta. And, you know, Verta is a company that installs and constructs the tower with their own funds, and then they find providers to put their towers or whatever on that tower, antennas.
I guess my point was, we don't have the information yet from the county to be able to make a decision in terms of, on this ordinance.
If Verta is gonna come into Ferrisburg and try to find a location for a tower, we do not have that information. We did have
Oh, Your Honor, I saw that Grand Haven Township is putting a tower. That wouldn't help us. That's not really close enough, is it?
No.
To help
No.
us here, so we
Yeah.
still need to deal with something around here.
that's what with the information we get from the Verizon, yes.
Okay.
Mr. DeWitt?
Yeah, I have a couple problems with this. Number one, Mr. Cook's statement that we don't have enough information. Number two, reading the last thing in the proposed ordinance here, Planning Commission is reviewing possible changes to zoning ordinance. One, special land use permit approval process. With the proposed change, the Planning Commission would approve all SLVs without need to have City Council review them. Planning Commission has no statutory authority to approve anything. Correct, Craig?
The zoning ordinance, if that amendment takes place, the planning commission would have authority to approve it.
Planning Commission is an advisory group to the City Council. Am I wrong in that?
They have the authority to approve site plans and certain items as outlined in the zoning ordinance.
And it comes to City Council for approval, correct?
Not everything does not.
Okay, well, I have a problem with that because, number one, we're advocating our review process, not only now, but forever in the future, if we allow this to be approved by the Planning Commission and not come to City Council for approval. I think we need to think long and hard, at least remove that last statement from this thing. As it's proposed, we can open a can of worms that they could say, okay, we're gonna have a special land use at City Hall, and we're gonna put a cell tower here, and the City Council has no say in the matter. The final decision should always rest with the elected officials of the City Council. That's what I have an issue with it. And to Mr. Cook's point, we don't have enough information to make an intelligent decision.
I realize the motion is to table this, but Craig, does the Planning Commission have a lot of autonomy in that regard, like what Mr. DeWitt is pointing out on other subjects?
On the cell tower, that's correct. If this is approved, this planning commission could approve a site plan for a cell tower.
Okay, what about other items though for planning commission? They can run autonomously and make decisions like that as well?
Yes, yes. Just like the last month or 2 months ago, they approved a driveway deviation from the zoning ordinance. Certain site plans they can approve without coming to city council.
Your Honor,
Yes.
we would be voting on this ordinance, right? We're not voting to actually put a tower in.
No, that is correct.
So we're just not, we don't have enough information on the ordinance? Is that what we're saying?
The situation is that someone has come to us and saying that, hey, in LI1 and Port Industrial,
Sure.
they need to put a 300-foot tower up.
Mm-hmm.
And the county is coming to us and saying, hey, there may be other alternatives where we don't need to necessarily have such a tall tower in town, maybe 2 shorter towers or something else or a different location.
But we're not approving a tower today.
No, that's
We're
correct.
just looking at the ordinance.
That is correct, just the ordinance.
So what is the confusion on the ordinance tonight?
Whether 300 feet is necessary as a deviation from the current ordinance, I think that's the question on the table.
But we're not approving a 300-foot.
We're allowing the planning commission to potentially approve a 300-foot tower without any further input from city council, I believe.
Yeah, this would approve a 300-foot tower.
So the motion on the floor is to table. Anyone have any further comments regarding that?
One quick question.
You
Your
bet.
Honor. Wasn't there a consultant that was gonna come in and meet? The guy that sets it up for the county or, has that happened?
No, I have not met with anybody from the county representing Verda.
Well, at the last council meeting, my understanding was that we were gonna set up an appointment with him to come in and advise you to advise us. Is that correct?
To my understanding, maybe I misunderstood. My understanding was that I was to contact the county, get some information on the company that they were using to locate towers within the county.
And has that meeting taken place?
Via email, we had a correspondence per email.
And how come we didn't have why didn't you forward it to us?
It should be in your packet.
It was in the packet.
I did not see it.
Yeah, it was in our packet.
I need to talk to city clerk about that. Some of my things are not getting in. I'm missing pages. I need to get page 1, 2, and 5.
It should be right in the top of the ordinance.
Can I summarize it? Is that okay? So the email is from Henry Gent. He's a product manager with Verita, and he says that they are contracted with Ottawa County. They are willing to speak and work with local governments. There's no capital cost. And he gave an example of them having worked with Chester Township, which is in northeastern Ottawa County, to place a cell tower there, and that Henry is available and willing to speak with the city staff directly as needed, and requested zero pressure.
Thank you, Dave. I don't have that. I got page 1 and 4.
So the motion on the floor is to table this, and we certainly could direct staff to get a hold of that individual that was mentioned, from the county,
Yes.
right?
So what are we asking city staff to do with that contact of?
I've got a couple of things. So the first thing is to ask them whether they believe there is a reasonable alternative to siting a 300-foot tower in the city. There was another question posed by Councilmember Murdoch, I think in the last meeting. She stated, correct me if I'm wrong, why can't the equipment on top of Dewey Hill just be improved to provide coverage in the area of concern in the city of Ferrysburg?
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Has the city reached out to Grand Haven on Dewey Hill? Anybody,
Staff has not.
can we do that, Craig? And see what kind of feedback we might get?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Notice something something on the cell tower was coming up on them, on their agenda. Don't know what or when, but I did notice it. One of the Norton Shores residents I was working for, said it was coming up on their agenda. My question would be, if Norton Shores, depends where they put it up, if they do, would that overlap? And I guess that would be the consultant, the question I would have for the consultant, that I would prefer not to have one at Ferrisburg. We have it on Dewey Hill and Norton Shores. If it's absolutely necessary, I guess it is, but at this point, I don't think we have enough information to make an intelligent decision.
Anyone else have anything new before we take roll on this?
I just want to point out that, like our last conversation, this is a known safety issue in the city of Ferrisburg. So I should move forward with something at some point.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? No? Amber?
Councilmember DeWitt.
And this is to
Yes,
table.
to table it? Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
No.
Mayor Carlson.
No.
Motion passed.
Very good.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I'd like to change my vote, Amber, if I may, to no.
I'd like to change mine also to no.
Why are you changing
I'm
your
tired of
votes?
this. We keep rounding around and it keeps getting tabled. We keep hashing it over every meeting. We need to make a decision.
Yeah, and I know that the people on North Shore are getting very impatient. This has to happen.
We need a tower.
Well, the passage of this stuff definitely doesn't mean you're gonna end up with a 300-foot tower, because we're gonna continue on pursuing things with the county. So, very good. Moving on to a 70 discussion. take
Excuse me,
action
Your
if-
Honor.
Yes.
So do we want to have a vote to adopt this ordinance, or do you want this on the next agenda, or?
True. Good point, Mr. Parliamentarian.
So we need a new motion. I would like to make a motion that we pass this amended ordinance, but I would like to amend the SLU approval process. I would like that removed from this ordinance.
I support that.
And that's just requiring it to come to council.
Correct, yeah.
That's
logical.
Do I have support? Oh, you did.
Yeah, Mike support.
So motion and support on the floor. Any further discussion before we take a vote?
Your Honor?
Yes.
You need to read the changes into the record. Do you have the changes?
Okay, discussion and to take action, if appropriate, to adopt ordinance number 344, an ordinance to amend provisions related to wireless communications facilities, amateur radio service, satellite dishes, and other antennas, with the amendment that the SLU approval is removed.
And so the approval would come to city council after the planning commission recommendation.
Do we need to specifically put that in there, Amber? Or-
Yes, we review that.
Okay.
Anyone
That
else have
makes
any?
sense. Any other concerns?
Seeing none, Amber, could you call roll when you're ready?
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
No.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7E, discussion and take action if appropriate to schedule a work session as a regular agenda item on the March 16th, 2026 agenda. Craig, I see you have the city budget on here.
Yeah, we'll start discussion on the proposed city budget for 26-27.
Okay. We had some other ideas as well. Did we not?
City council procedures. We
That
can
would be
put that on there as well.
That would be a good one to cover.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I've seen some emails for Heart City. Do we want that as a
Craig,
discussion item? Or
that's a good
an
question.
update?
Craig, I copied you on an email today regarding that Heart Safe. And we've had some discussions with the fellow out there on North Shore.
Mike, Mr.
Yes.
Campbell. I'm
How
not
can we-
sure. I'm not sure that how that process got moved forward with Mr. O'Donnell being the representative on that committee. I don't know the answer to that.
Who
Okay.
appointed him?
I'm sorry.
Who appointed him?
I'm not aware of anybody appointing him. If it were, I don't know the answer to how that all involved.
I believe that was just something that several people took off and ran with. I'm not sure any, to my knowledge, nobody's from council or any board has appointed investigation into this, have they, Craig?
We've had some conversation with Mr. Campbell, who's trying to spearhead the three communities being part of this program. He's talked to Mayor Carlson and myself a couple times, and we just haven't moved forward with it yet. So I'm not sure how Mr. O'Donnell got involved in it. I don't know the answer to that.
Can we put it on for this work session, please?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, can we have the principal, either Mr. McDonald or the principal, the other guy?
I'll look for some information from City Council, yes.
Great.
Yeah, and have him show up and make a presentation if possible.
Yeah, I'm curious to understand how this works. It's a city designation from what I gathered, and I haven't seen any other cities do it together, so I'm curious to know how he would think that would work.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I had a brief conversation with Mr. McDonald, like 2 minutes, where they were trying to get a regional thing going, and I didn't have a lot of time. I just said, yeah, go with it and bring it to us.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Mentioned we had some residents requesting us look into Bird City USA Bird City Michigan designation for our city. Are we doing anything with that, or would you like to have a work session on it?
I'll probably have a work session in the future, yes.
Okay.
Why don't we put that on the agenda and see if it's worth pursuing?
That's what the work
Do we have
session.
do we have any information on it?
It's similar to Tree City USA, so you have a proclamation, you do, you pick, they've got a list of activities, and you pick, I think, 5 or 10 of them for the flight award. And it just is twofold to recognize or make sure we're building a city that promotes bird sanctuaries and habitats, and then B is driving tourism for bird lovers and bird watchers. They have some studies on the website that show increased tourism for the birding folks around the state. So I think it's $200 to apply. It's not crazy, and it gets our name out there.
You're going to throw this on the work session.
Yes, I will.
Okay, so we have 4 things on the work session right now. Anyone else have anything to add?
Your Honor?
Yes.
I would like a work session soon. It sounds like the next one's filling up on the 4th of July committee and creation. I've got some ideas and some people that have given me some feedback, and we'd like to discuss that with council and get some feedback from council as to where we should go from here.
Okay. Very good. 5 things on,
Seems like enough.
that's plenty. Craig, you all set?
All set, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Moving on to the next agenda item, public comments. Do we have any other additional public comments? Nicole? Sandy? Okay.
Sandy Tuggle, 17939 Dogwood Drive. I realize I'm a little bit late tonight, and I missed the comment earlier about the discussion on the cell towers. But I just wanted to add, and I don't know if this will ever be revisited by council or not, but I do appreciate the comments that Mr. Cook made at the last meeting, and seeing if there were any other options than what we've been presented at the Planning Commission. And at the Planning Commission, we were presented with maps that were proprietary. They gave them to us to look at, and then took them after the meeting. So that is not something that you guys have been able to have your eyes on, and that was something that was not available to the public to look at. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind, and if we do have an alternative than putting a 300-foot tower in our tiny little town, that we explore every option and have every rock unturned before we move forward with that. So, you know, it's a huge decision that isn't something that we can take away once it's done. These tower contracts can be decades, if not centuries, 50 years, 100 years. And it's gonna not only impact, you know, the community, but it's gonna impact property values. And, you know, some of the things I brought up at the Planning Commission meeting were, how do we know that this is gonna solve the problem? And what are other communities doing? And I never really got, you know, an answer on that necessarily. So just to please keep that in mind for the future. And I feel like we need to unturn every rock we possibly can before we put a 300-foot tower in Ferrysburg. Thank you.
Thank you. You all set? Okay, very good. That's the end of public comments. Report, city manager.
No report?
Who would like to go first tonight? Mr. Cook?
No report.
Very good. Mr. Size.
Board review meets on the 3rd. That's an administrative meeting, and then, remind me of the dates after that, Amber?
9th and 10th.
9th and 10th, okay. Those will be the meeting times.
Debbie?
Our commission meets next Monday, but we have the Easter egg hunt coming up April 4th. At, let's see, we're meeting at 10:30. We're meeting at 10:30 on Thursday, March 26th, to stuff Easter eggs. Anybody, any interest in helping, we will be here at City Hall stuffing thousands of Easter eggs for the hunt. And we're working on the parade. We're still working on that, so we're continuing. End of report.
Great. Mr. DeWitt?
Just a quick note, they put a second sign up on the end of 168th and Flags. As you come over the hill now, you can see the sign on the left, and sort of the one on the right. I don't know if that needs to be cocked a little or something, but you can definitely see it now. There is a stop sign. That's it.
Okay, no report.
Okay. Wayne?
No, we had a NORA meeting last week, discussed several items, including the possibility of doing millage of some sort later this year. Other than that, I do have a request for Craig. Craig, when we get these ordinance changes, can you provide them with, like, can you highlight the changes or the proposed changes?
Sure.
Might make it easier for us and the public as they're going through this. Just yellow highlight them or make the text red or something to make the changes stand out, so we're not having to compare the old one to the new one.
Yes, we can do that.
That's it. End of
That's
report.
it? Okay, and no report from the mayor.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
That was a pretty quick second there.
Trying to get out of it.